What is up to my favorite readers on the entire internet? Today I'm going to be giving you guys a book review of Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. Everyone who has not heard about this massive historical novel, it is basically Jared Diamond breaking down civilizations down to these three words: guns, germs, and steel. And I know that's, to some of you guys, that might sound a little bit boring, but to me, as someone who is definitely into ancient history, this is basically amazing. It was originally published in 1999, I believe, or 98, and it quickly became a hit success, and as it won him a Pulitzer Prize as well as so many other honorary awards for being such a very comprehensive and amazing novel. Before I actually go in and start talking about this novel, let's first backtrack into who Jared Diamond actually is. Guns, Germs, and Steel is Diamond's third novel, and he has published so many other novels since Guns, Germs, and Steel that all are non-fiction novels basically about human and civilization and how humans interact with each other during different eras of time. He draws from so many different areas of science to actually present his novels. Pulls from so many different areas of sciences like biology, anthropology, geography, and just so many other different sciences, where he just kind of takes all of the knowledge from those areas and kind of compacts them into one big novel to present his thesis. And he does a phenomenal job. Guns, Germs, and Steel, it's fantastic. It explains so much, and it's just a beautiful novel. I was first introduced through Guns, Germs, and Steel when I was back in high school, my freshman year, and my teacher told me about this novel when I was taking World Civilization. As this novel, Guns, Germs, and Steel, deals heavily with civilization and the premise of it all. The main question that Guns, Germs, and Steel is trying to tackle is why certain civilizations rise and some civilizations take longer to actually reach where other civilizations have gotten during that time period. For example, why was the old world a lot more technologically advanced as a civilization and more centralized versus the new world? And to answer this question, Diamond draws from so many different areas of sciences. He's pulling from geography and ecology and anthropology and evolutionary biology to actually explain why some things are the way they are. And he breaks these things down by chapter. There's one chapter in his novel about longitude and latitude and how that affected the different continents, all the different continents in the world. And then there's another chapter that deals with just plants and how plants and agriculture influence civilization. And there's another chapter about animals, the domestication of animals, as well as just wild animals that actually influence why certain civilizations thrived and why some of them didn't. And in this novel, he explains so much, and he goes so farther in depth than what I actually learned in high school. It's in high school we kind of learned just a little bit, a smidget of what Diamond is saying, but here in this novel, he is able to fully explain some of these topics and give me so many different points of views that I didn't think about. I didn't know that longitude and latitude could affect a civilization as large scale as it does in this novel. He does such a phenomenal job of making sure that he doesn't come off as too Eurocentric, and he spends a lot of the time in the novel on other continents besides Europe. For a large portion of the novel, he jumps from continent to continent, explaining how different things affected different continents. And even in the last part of the novel, he does this around the world in a couple of pages, where he jumps from location to location to location about how that civilization is in modern times. Another thing I love about this novel, that Diamond makes sure that you can completely understand and comprehend everything he's saying. And he makes it so easy to read, and he breaks everything down. He might start off with an introductory paragraph where he presents his entire thesis for the chapter, and you may be thinking that this is gonna go over your head, or it's it's a little bit too much, but he always backtracks it throughout the entire chapter and make sure that you understand it as he represents it in different form, so that you can completely comprehend what he's actually trying to explain to you. And I feel his hypothesis and everything that he is trying to explain to a reader makes sense. Everything's valid, and it's not he's coming in here with his own point of view and he's trying to force that point of view onto his readers. For the majority of the novel, he presents us with multiple points of views on multiple issues, so we can see the good and the bad and what some other people are thinking. And he recognizes that. He recognizes that some of his colleagues don't agree with him, so he actually presents their point of view, and then presents his alongside their point of view. And he does a really good job of making sure that you understand that not all of his colleagues agree with him. And then he presents their ideas about the entire subject, and then he presents his own ideas across the entire subject. And I know a lot of people sit here and say that the entire novel is very boring. And I guess a lot of people can sit here and say that this novel is really boring, and I can really understand them and understand where they're coming from, because a lot of this novel deals with the nit and gritty of agriculture, which some people aren't really interested in. But like, as someone who's definitely interested in that, he does a good job of like actually making it compelling and cool and fascinating. You have to understand that a good deal of this novel deals with small nitty-gritty things of that nature. And it's a very scientific based historical novel, and if you can't get into that and you're not into that type of thing, then you aren't going to really like this book, because it is very slow and it's very nit and gritty, and there's a lot of dates that you're probably not going to remember, and there's some parts that just kind of get over boring. I really did enjoy the novel, and I understand why some people don't enjoy the novel and consider it boring, but I personally really did love this novel, and I do recommend it to anyone who is into history and can get behind all of this nit and gritty agriculture and animal domestication and geography stuff. And if you have read this book, you guys can let me know down below in the comment section your own opinions on it, because I would love to hear it if you have read the novel. And if you like this video, you can go ahead and subscribe down below to stay up to date to all of my booktube videos, including my book discussions, talks, and hauls. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to me on Twitter at CamPerp. Keep your heads up, high expectations. Great.